Hey there, I'm Shamitria, the Rowdy math teacher. Today I'm sharing one of my most successful review strategies with you, Review 2000. I actually first learned about this strategy a few years ago at a summer math conference. It's an engaging and motivating way to review for big assessments like state tests. The 2000 part of the title refers to the number of questions students are expected to answer correctly in order to earn the grand prize. I know it seems like a lot, but I promise you they can do it. This strategy is always a hit with my students, including both elementary and middle school students. The visual itself is pretty simple. All you need is a class graph or large classroom thermometer, labels for the graph, rewards, and a title. The only other component you need is a spiral review. More on that later. To set up the program, I create a large thermometer on chart paper and calibrate it in 50s or 100s. On the other side of the thermometer, I set goals for the students. Each reward is listed next to the number of questions the class needs to answer correctly to earn the reward. I display the thermometer and rewards on a bulletin board so the students can watch the total grow each day. I like to use a spiral review for my Review 2000 questions. For me, I like something that has 5 to 6 questions that are similar to the ones on the state assessment and that cover a broad range of state-specific standards. When the school day begins, students get 10 to 20 minutes to complete the questions. Then, during our math block, we review the answers. I typically do this by having the students present their work and solution to the class using the document camera. Not only does this allow the students to show what they know, but I can see very quickly what I need to continue to review. Also, when we begin the review of the questions, I require that all pencils be put away and remain out of sight. That discourages any changing of answers. Students then use colored pencils to grade and make corrections. When we have finished reviewing all the questions, I ask the students to total the number of questions they answered correctly and record the number correct at the top of the page. Students then submit their sheet for the day so that I can review the mistakes. I track and record individual student data on a data collection chart and then total the number of correct responses, or points, for the class. At the end of each day, I color in the thermometer to show the new total. Once students earn a reward, I make every effort to reward them on the next school day so that they do not lose momentum. While I always base our original goal on the number of days we have available to review before test day, we all know things happen. Sometimes we end up with days where we can't work on the review and get behind. Other times, the students are not answering the questions as well as expected. In either case, I readjust the point total and the rewards because I want the students to earn the rewards. In fact, I always block off the day after the test well in advance for the movie and popcorn. There are 2 ways to adjust the goal. First, you can change the name of the activity to Review 1000 and motivate the students to answer 1000 questions correctly. Or, instead of changing the name, you can assign a point value to each correctly answered question so that students can earn all 2000 points. To use the data tracking chart, I write my students' names in the first column. Then, after each day's review of the questions, I record the number of questions each student answered correctly next to their name in the correct days column. Then, I total the day's questions at the bottom of the chart. The chart is useful not only for tracking students' daily progress, but it gives me an overall picture of how students are doing. For example, I can look across the chart to check on my low-performing students. When I see they have mostly 4s, I feel great about the progress they are making and their ability to get a passing score on our state test. As a side note, I do want to say one of the things I do look for when I'm choosing a spiral review is a spiral review that has questions that are harder than those on the state test. That allows me to have that little bit of comfort when I'm looking across the chart for 4s and knowing that my low-performing students are doing well. So what next? Well, it's time to get started. You can certainly create your own visuals. However, if you're short on time, which we all are, I've created a free resource for you with all the pieces you need to create the visual and the picture. minus the border, of course. You can download the pack using the link here or using the form in the blog post. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please email me at shamitria@therowdymathteacher.com. Happy reviewing!